Okay, guys, I'm back, and I lined up his items right here. So we're going to go right into this. He has initiative token 3, right? So what we're going to do is a rally call. So we're going to flip it over, and that says rally. So you're calling out to your fellow hero. Let's put this over here in this chamber so you can take a look. Of course, they're right there. And so it does not cost an action to open a door. So he's going to simply open the door, and he doesn't even really have to roll the die because he has a base movement of 2. But we're going to move in for 1 action. And then we did a rally call. When you rally a fellow hero, it's going to cost 1 essence to move down, okay? So it costs 1 essence to rally. And of course, he's calling out to Palum to lay siege to this chamber. We're going to come over to Palum. She has 4. Set that aside. And now she is going to move. And she has a base movement of 4. So if it's like a small, jaunt into there, you don't have to roll. So 1, 2. So we see in here, and remember, this would have been unknown to the heroes, but I showed you earlier. And they're trying to retrieve a quest item. What we're going to do is we're going to draw from the level 1 monster deck. Champion monsters, this group right here, is what resides inside chambers in Dungeon Crusade. Simply, we're going to come over here to the level 1 champion deck, and let's reveal what kind of monster they're going to be facing as I move it over here. So this is a massive viper. Freddie Lopez, I worked with him and asked him to create a massive viper, and he created a massive viper. So let's take a look at this here. It's a level 1. It's got 3 health. It's versed in physical warfare, ranged warfare, and mythical warfare. Now, I think we're going to do very good with this. This is where you size up, what's going on and who's going to attack in what phase. Well, we already know that Sir Brennus is great in physical warfare, right? So he's got the long sword. This is a starting weapon, so it doesn't give any kind of enchantment. However, he has a +3 to physical warfare. So we're going to be able to add 3 to that phase. So definitely, we're going to come over here again. And this is the combat chart. If you saw the Christmas video, you kind of know what's going on. So we're going to take our battle tokens here. And we're going to, he's going to be attacking in physical warfare, okay? And I'm going to show you how we're going to do this. So, but right now, going back to this, let's get this ready. This is physical warfare, ranged, and mythical. So we're going to get these tokens out here. There's physical. See, there's mythical there. And then there is ranged warfare. Like so. Okay, so we're going to take these, and what you do is, we're going to come back to this, but I just want to discuss this a little bit more in depth with you. So we already know that, he's going to attack in this. He's excellent in this. Ranged, consulting Palum, she's not very good with ranged, okay? And Sir Brennus, he's got a +1 to range. But what I'm more concerned with right now is sizing them up because this Massive Viper is also versed in mythical. Well, Palum is the rogue, and she's excellent with mythical. She has a +3 already. Whoops, I'm sorry, you can see that. Okay, so she has already a +3. Plus, we had bought her the Thieves' Garb, which is going to give her a +2. So we already have 5. So she is going to lay down some ponage. However, they only have. We could actually use the dual axe to attack because she does have 2 weapons. So we may just do this. So let's go over here and let me show you what's going on. Okay, so every round of combat, you take these are the warfares we just talked about, and there's 3 phases in Dungeon Crusade: phase 1, 2, and 3. You give these a shuffle. You can either do this method here, which we can do that, or I usually shake them and then just put them out. And so for the first round of combat, it's going to be physical warfare. We're going to see ranged next, and then lastly is going to be mythical, of course. So now we're going to decide what are we going to do here. Who's going to attack? So what we're going to do is, well, of course, we saw Sir Brennus. We're going to push the attack in phase 1 with him. Phase 2, let's do phase 3 before that, because we already know that she is going to be excellent at mythical warfare. So Palum is going to attack, and we're going to get to these in a second. This all, when we're done with this, you'll have a great idea what's going on. And then now notice neither of them, and this was the change to combat that I was trying to explain to people, neither of them have a ranged warfare weapon. That doesn't stop them from attacking, though. You simply aren't proficient in that, right? But you can always use a weapon to attack with a possible chance to land a hit. However, it's going to be difficult for you because you're not versed, you're not proficient in ranged warfare, and you're using another weapon in that. But you can always do damage. So, case in point, let's do this first. Remember in phase 1, here's our token, and we are going to use, and I'm going to use the worn longsword in phase 1 to attack, okay? Remember we did phase 3 next? So I'm going to declare I'm using the dull stiletto in phase 3. And then for phase 2, although it's ranged, I'm going to, which is not smart because I can't add any bonuses, I'm going to try to use a dual axe in ranged warfare, which it may not go very good. So I'm going to attack in phase 2 with that. That makes sense? Okay, so we're going to come over here to the dice box, and we're going to gather those dice that we just saw. We're going to push that up. So see, just like I laid out there, it's laid out there. Here it is right here. So we're going to come over, and let's gather the dice into the cup. So of course we're going to have physical, and we're going to have ranged, and you roll them all at the same time. And we'll set the massive viper. How about we set them there? So this is the first round of combat. When you enter in chambers, it's persistent. You're going to keep battling until you evade out of the room. That's where you could either evade. If you just can't beat the monster, there's a chance to get out of this chamber. The other two outcomes are the heroes are going to be killed or they're going to kill the champion. So that's how that works. So let's roll. And see, let's get this, and I'm going to explain to you why this totally makes sense, but when you're not proficient in something. So phase 1, of course, consulting the chart there, if you can see it up there. Phase 1 was physical, so we're going to set those dice there. Mythical was phase 3, so we're going to set those dice there. And then here, of course, in the middle, phase 2 was ranged. So right off the bat, Cerberus 13, as long as you meet or exceed this value, you have scored a hit. So looking at his card, I'm just going to bring the card over here. And on his hero card, he could add a +3 on his hero card. Notice here's +3 down here. So we add that to the roll. He scored a 16. Definitely landed a hit on the massive viper, and he used the sword. Does 1 damage. So what we're going to do is we're going to take one of the damage tokens and put it right on that. So we have successfully scored a hit. Now remember, we had Palom attacking in ranged warfare with this axe. She is not proficient, but you can always attempt to try to land damage even if you're not proficient with something in like for ranged warfare. She has nothing to add to that roll if we consult her chart. So she scored a 6. Look at the massive viper. The massive viper is quite versed in this. It's a 9. It's below that. See the number there? Paloma is going to take 1 hit. Does that make sense? So we're going to come over here to her card. We're going to take away 1 health. And so that's that. Finally, though, she is incredibly proficient in mythical. That's her specialty. So we needed an 11, and we look at her gear and her card. She could add a +3 to that, so that's 15. Plus that is 17. She did a really good hit on that massive viper, thus scoring 1 more damage because remember she used the dull stiletto, which does 1 damage. So we're down with this massive viper. It's down to it only has 1 more health left. And so what we're going to do is let's put this back up here. That's 1 round of combat. Usually this would go a lot faster, but I'm explaining everything. So let's clear the dice tray. And what you're going to do is take the tokens, and I'm just going to use the shaking method, and then you randomly place them Okay? And that's acceptable. So now we can see, I want to explain something. I don't want to forget about this, and I think I'm going to have to end after this and do a recharge on the camera. Why it's important, sometimes when you get up into like deeper in the dungeon and you fight harder monsters, what you're going to want to do is hopefully the phases that you are proficient in come up first. You know, you want to get that done to kill that monster. You don't want it at the end. So just like we did, it's going to go to, we're going to push the attack in phase 1. And again, with Sir Brennus, we're going to keep everything the same, basically. Push the attack in phase 2 with Palum, and then phase 3 is going to be ranged warfare. And we're going to do this real quick here. And I'm going to have to get a recharge. I think we're going to kill it in the first phase, though, with Sir Brennus. And I don't know, actually, you know, because I scored only a 2. So let's line up everything and have you take a look. Phase 3 was this. And actually, I'm really glad this came up to show you guys something. Okay, so let's consult this here. Phase 1 was physical. This had only, we needed a 13. Even adding his bonus on his card, which is a 3, that's only a 10. Sir Brennus is going to take 1 damage, because right there, see the 1? So it is going to have to take, he's going to take 1 damage for this. However, in phase 2, Palum, we had to get an 11. With all of her gear, she already scored a 12.